Welcome back to Studio One Saturdays, where every single Saturday I show you something awesome inside of Studio One. And today I want to show you the tools inside of Studio One. They are unbelievably handy, unbelievably fast, and unbelievably unbelievable. Yeah, that sounded better on script. So without further ado, let's just jump right on into it. So here inside of Studio One, I have a little track that sounds like this. And now let's say I wanted to manipulate some of the audio and play around with some of the MIDI and stuff. So first off, we need to know where the tools are and how to locate them, how to find them. So first, you have a set of tools up here. These are all tools you have access to, and you can select these tools via the numbers on your keyboards. So 1 is the selector tool, 2 is like the range tool, 3 is the cut tool, so on and so forth, all the way up to 8. There are 8 tools in total here. Now there's a second section of tools, and that's in the edit window. You can just double click on the region. Now there's a separate section of tools up here. And same thing, if this window is opened and you're using it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are the tools inside of the MIDI region or the edit window. And if you're working in here, those numbers select those tools. If you click out here and you start selecting these tools up here, those ones change now. It's a bit confusing at first, but once you get the hang of it, you really understand. Like, you can leave both windows open and just keep clicking back and forth and doing different edits in different places, and it is super fast, super handy. Now, this is where it gets extra awesome, because most DAWs have tools similar to this. Now, Logic had a secondary tool option, and a lot of DAWs have secondary tool options, but I just love the way Studio One does it. So here, you can select your secondary tool. If you see up here, select alternate tool, Control. That is my keyboard shortcut for my secondary tool. I like to use it as the eraser tool. I change it depending on the type of work that I'm doing. And now when I'm in here, I have my selector tool selected here. Now, if I hold Control, it changes to the eraser. I can click it and it deletes it instantly. I don't have to worry about anything else at all. I don't have to select the other tool up here and change it and go back and forth. It's just right there. Hold Control and it changes to whatever my secondary tool is. Now this is really, really handy. If you press the center button on your mouse, the scroll wheel is also a button. If you press that, this little window pops up, which is just awesome. It's literally the nicest thing ever. I can select a tool, and as soon as I select the tool, it drops. And now that's the tool that I have access to. So I could chop it, go back to my selector tool, select that, and now I can hold Control and delete that if I want to. Super, super fast. And all of these tools you have access to right here, and even some of the paint tools. Look at this. You can just press the center mouse button, and all of these tools show up, and you can select whatever you want to. So you don't even have to go up here or even move your hand up on your keyboard. And that's the way I worked for quite a while inside of Studio One. It was super helpful. I absolutely loved it. But then I decided to take it to the next level. And I got a gaming mouse, and there's like assignable buttons on the side of it. And there's a video I dedicated just on this mouse, which is the Hero G502 by Logitech. I'll make sure I put the card up here. I show you how I route all of my buttons inside of Studio One with this mouse, and how to do it inside of Windows. Gregor from Personas has a video of how to do it inside of Mac. And inside of that video, I made sure there's links in the description. So if you have a mouse with assignable buttons, you're definitely going to want to check those out if you use Studio One. And how I do this is I have a button on the side of my mouse that toggles between Tool 3 and Tool 1. So when I select it, it selects Tool 3. When I let go of the button, it goes back to Tool 1. And the reason I do this is because I have my Control as my erase, and now I have the button on the side of my mouse as my cut tool. Let's just say this is a vocal and I want to cut out some different parts in here. I want to cut out some of the silence. I can click the side of it, chop this here, hold Control and delete that section of audio. Bam, bam. Do it again. And do it again. And now I can select all of these, press the button on the top of my mouse, another assignable button, and add crossfades to all of those cuts and all of those sections. It's the fastest thing ever. And I've done all of that inside of Studio One with customizable keyboard shortcuts and then linking it to my mouse. Like I said, that video is in the description below, and then I put a card up there just in case you want to check that out if you have a similar mouse to mine, or a mouse with assignable buttons. Now, one more thing I want to mention, and it's not necessarily tools, but it is very, very helpful, is the macros inside of Studio One. If you don't see them, there's a little section up here called macros, and there's a bar down over here, and these come stock with Studio One. This productivity toolbar came from Ivan Calderon, who is a fantastic YouTuber, fantastic producer. You guys should definitely check out his channel. He teaches Studio One as well. I'm sure you probably know him already. And The productivity toolbar is super, super helpful. You can create your own. This is one that he created and gives away for free. I absolutely love it. And inside of this productivity toolbar, I can add compressors, delays, EQs. I can render audio, gain stage things to negative 3 dB, do all of these really cool things. With one button, I can add a reverse reverb effect on a vocal. It's so, so easy. Now, this isn't really considered a tool, but it is super helpful, and it is something that I really haven't seen any other DAW do. And I will make a video dedicated just to the macros inside of Studio One because it is really that big. A macro is multiple actions that you could layer on top of one another and press with one button, and it is so fast. This is the reason why I use Studio One. It is the fastest DAW there is out there, and I use it professionally. People pay me to produce, mix, record, and all of this stuff for them, and everything I do is all inside of Studio One because it is just that fast and that efficient. And if you make money off of this, you know that the less time it takes you to get somewhere, the more money you're going to make. And especially on a creative level, the less time it takes you to actually get your idea into the DAW, the better off you're going to be. The better the music is going to be because the DAW just gets out of the way for you. That's why I love Studio One. Now, if you like this video, last week on Studio One Saturdays, I showed you how to turn audio into MIDI, and there's 2 ways of doing that. Super helpful, and I know you're going to love it. You can just click on this video right here. In that video, I show you how to turn audio into MIDI inside of Studio One and the 2 ways of doing it. Not just melody, but chords as well, and it's all done inside of Studio One without any third-party plugins required. It's so nice. I cannot wait to see you there. Click on that video, and I'll see you over there. Now, as always, go create.